All right, here we go. We got ideas worth spreading. Let me see here. Hopefully my click is going to go next. Is it going to go next? Oh, I'm going to click it. There we go. Oh, and then I'm not sure if anybody knows, but can you guys take a guess or just, you know, a random thought on what we're going to be talking about today? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller?
Trust.
Trust.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about trust today. We're going to be talking about trust. So here we go. Who here? And by the way, if you're doing a presentation, great way to engage is always start off with a question. Who here? And you know what? Even better way to engage, have somebody read the question that's on the huddle. So let's see here. Let's have JT. Can you read for us this question?
Who here has had trust issues either in your personal or professional lives?
Personal or professional lives. Yeah, raise your hand if you've ever had trust issues. By the way, statistics have proven that that would be everyone. Everyone has had trust issues. And when we have trust issues, are our lives like totally happy, fulfilling? Are we being wholehearted, they being wholehearted, and everything's awesome? No, unfortunately not. A lot of stress and drama come with trust issues, okay? So the information I'm going to be sharing with you today is, I don't know if you heard about this lady. I know if you're on our team, you know who Brene Brown is because we just finished reading up her book. But here we go, trivia question. Can somebody tell me what 41,184,347 represents?
Number of
seconds in a year.
Wait, say again?
Number of seconds in a year?
Nope, not number of seconds in a year. Good guess.
Statistically, how many people had trust issues?
How many people have trust issues? That number is way short because we've got way more people on this planet, and that would include everybody on this planet. I think we're at about, I don't know, a couple billion people on the planet. So I wish that was the number of only the people on this planet that had trust issues. If that was true, there would be no wars, no famine. Everything would be super awesome on this planet if it was that little. One more guess.
41 million.
What did it say at the beginning of this? What is my first slide theme about? Where did I get the format for the slide? My first slide, where did I get the format from?
TEDx.
TED Talks. There's a clue. What does this number represent?
How many people
Number of
have
people.
watched TEDx?
How many people have watched Brene Brown's TED Talk? And it's the #2 most watched TED Talk of all time. #1 is something from Simon Sinek, I think, about what's your why. Might want to take a look at that TED Talk. 41 other million people on this planet have taken a look at it. Okay, keep going. We keep going. What are the 3 reasons why clients don't want to do business with you? Who wants to take a stab at that?
They don't know you. They don't trust you. They don't like you.
They don't know you, they don't like you, and they don't, what was that last one?
Trust.
They don't trust you. Okay? And for $1 million, somebody take a stab at it or a guess, what are the reasons why they do want to do business with you?
Because they do. Because they like you.
I'm all over $1 million. No, like, and trust you.
Yeah, that's it. Because they know you, they like you, and they trust you. I'm not going to cover the first 2 today because these huddles are only 15 minutes. So I'm only going to cover the last one. We're going to start off with a quote. Let's see here. Damien, you're the quote specialist in the conference room. How come I kind of see the TV in the conference room? That's weird.
Trust is choosing. You ready?
Yeah, go.
Choosing to make something important to you vulnerable to the actions of others.
Charles Feltman. Okay. And you know what? I got another quote. You know how I have another quote? Because it says that right on the slide. I got another quote. And somebody, Charlie Brown. What is distrust, Charlie Brown?
Distrust is what I have shared with you is not safe with you.
Maybe like your actual screen name. I'm just kidding. Distrust is what I've shared with you is not safe with you. The Brene Brown gives an example where somebody comes up to you and is like, hey, did you hear about so-and-so? They're getting a nasty divorce, and I think the other person was cheating on her. What she describes in that one moment is that she talks about it is you're trying to hotwire that connection with that person as a friend by sharing some juicy gossip. But what have you just communicated to that person?
You're not trustworthy.
That you're not trustworthy because it's not safe with you, and that somebody else shared something vulnerable with you, and you didn't keep it confidential. Okay? Going forward again. So trust is built on the small moments. She did the research, and you think it would be like, you know, like a stranger coming along and saving your life. You know, that's a pretty grand, big, huge moment, right? But is there a high probability that, I mean, there could be some possibility that you might have some interactions with that person in your life again, but the probability is very low. You know, a fireman comes and saves your life. Is that somebody you're going to want to go buy a house with? Not necessarily. But trust is built over the small moments is what she found out in her studies. So this is catering to the parts of you, people in you, the types of people in you that are listening to this right now where I need to see the data. Well, I trust what comes out on Super Soul Sunday with Oprah and all of these trusted speakers. And you know what? That totally makes sense. So you have both, right? I need the data. I just trust implicitly. We're going to cover both, okay? Because there's two types of people. And this information is anecdotal prior to you seeing this information. But as we do the research, her data backs up this anecdotal information about what it is what is trust. Sliding door moments. He talks about, the researcher that she quotes talks about a sliding door moment. Does anybody remember listening to that podcast and telling, it had to do with a hairbrush? Anybody remember if they listened to that podcast? Laura, I know you listened to it. Do you remember that part of the podcast?
Yeah, he was, it was the husband and wife, right? And the husband was reading his book.
Yeah.
And he wanted to get up and get something done before he got to the last juicy chapter. And he got up and he saw that his wife was in the bathroom mirror brushing her hair, and she was clearly upset about something. And he thought for a minute about being selfish and going back into their bedroom so that he could grab his juicy book he had, you know, worked up to. And instead, if I remember right, he takes the hairbrush from her hand and starts to brush her hair for her. And, you know, from what my takeaway from that was building connection and trust in that moment.
In the small moments.
Yeah.
And what he said to her was, honey, what's wrong? So let that slip in there for a moment. But, you know, there are times when we see people that are having challenges and we like, oh man, I'm so busy right now. There's a lot of drama going on there. And these are people close to us, and we kind of pass on those moments. So that's what he calls those sliding door moments, and how trust is built over those small times. Now, am I on this presentation to say that I'm perfect and I don't mess up on any of these categories? Heck no. I'm just the guy speaking. I'm just the one that's listened to this podcast a million times. And Adrian and I are in a leadership position where we're not in production too much. We're still in a little bit. But we get to spend the majority of our time is researching this thing and working on our business and bringing things to you to help you that are in the tornado of the business learn something that might improve not only your business life, but what else? What other part of your life? Your personal.
Personal.
Yeah. Attending funerals, what they found in the research and study. If you attend someone's funeral, it's a small thing. It might be a big thing out of your day, but it's a small thing on your part, but it's a huge thing on their part. Trust is built over time. Okay? And Brene Brown talks about the marble jar. And what she uses this analogy is that as we go through life and we have these small sliding door moments, and that person to us, that friendship, that significant other, that spouse, that team member is a jar. And it's either their heart or their well-being or their emotional stability. And what we do is every time we do something that helps them or something that we can count on for, that they can count on us for, we're putting a marble in that jar over time. Putting a marble in that jar over time. So that's what we're doing there. Okay, so she calls it the marble jar moments, sliding door moments. You're going to use this analogy and think about the friends and the significant people in your lives, and are they putting marbles in your jar? And more importantly, are you putting marbles in their jar? You know, we do this with our clients with interactions, when we remember their names, when we are accountable to saying that we're going to follow up with them on Mondays and let them know what's going on. We're putting a marble in their jar. And that's building what?
Trust.
Building trust. Okay. Sliding door moments, again, asking for help. I want to go back to that asking for help. Asking for help is putting marbles in people's jars. This is you asking for help. Because a huge challenge that we have is we will always give help. Not a big deal, right? It makes you feel good. But again, when you are the type of person that doesn't ask for help, what you are communicating to the people around you is that you think less of them when they ask for help because they must be weak because they need help. You may not be saying that consciously. You may not even be verbalizing that. And you may think you're not thinking that. But the study and the research has shown that if you have an inability to ask for help, then you are not only denying that person an opportunity to feel good, but you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself. If you guys have a listing presentation, you don't get a signed listing agreement, and you don't ask for help, you got trust issues. Okay? If you have a significant other and you're waiting for them to notice that you are in a bad mood or you're having a bad day, and then you take their head off when they don't notice or don't pick up on that, it's because not of their inability to tune in or intuitively get that something's wrong in your day. It was you that needs to take ownership and say, I didn't have the ability to say, hey, you know what? I'm not having a good day today. Could you just give me a hug? Asking for help. Asking for help is how you put marbles in other people's jars. Attending funerals. How does Brene Brown explain trust? Well, she uses an acronym, and the acronym is BRAVING. So everybody go ahead and write that down if you're not driving. BRAVING is the acronym. BRAVING. And if it's an acronym, each letter stands for something. So I'm going to go through that real quick. Now, I know we only got 2 minutes, so I'm only going to cover B and R. So what is braving? When we trust, we are braving the connections with someone. B, boundaries. Let's see here. Howard, read for me boundaries.
What about boundaries?
Can you read the slide?
Oh, okay. I trust if you I trust you if you are clear about your boundaries and you hold them and you are clear about my boundaries.
Okay. Deborah, if you can come off mute or mute real quick. Read the next slide for me, Deborah.
There is no trust without boundaries.
Thank you, Deborah. Okay. The next one is our reliability. Reliability. May, read for us reliability, May. Oh, you're still on mute, May. Maybe it's your headset.
I can only trust you if you do what you say you're going to do.
Right? Yeah, you know, I tell you right now, I'm telling you, you got those people in your lives. You tell them 9 o'clock and they're there right on time at 9:30. You tell them I need you there at 10 o'clock and they are right on time at 10:30. They're consistently inconsistent. Well, they're consistent at being a half an hour late. So the trick is, if you want them to show up at 10 o'clock, tell them I really, really, really need you to be there at 9:30. And I know that person is popping up, or persons is popping up in your head right now. Okay? And we're going to cover the rest the next time. What are some ahas? Anybody got any ahas?
That trust happens in small moments.
It does. Give me some. Tina, give me an example of how we build trust with our clients in the small things.
Well, you're interested in what they're interested in, first of
Yes.
all. Build
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. Evelyn, give me another example. How do we build trust with our clients in the small things?
Doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it.
Yeah, give me an example. Give me a specific example of doing what we say we're going to do when we're going to do it.
Seller updates.
Seller updates on Mondays. Andrea, what's something you do for your buyers in the small ways that tells them you're building trust with them?
So I was thinking of an example when you talked about that. My client and I went to a listing and the listing agent was present, and the client asked a question about the HOA fees were super high, and she went right into objection handlers and just came across very salesy and just trying to explain it away instead of being real and be like, yeah, I know it's high, but this is what you get. She was like really salesy, and he said, I would never trust that woman. And like, just being transparent and then also being transparent if there's a problem or if you made a mistake, just telling the truth always.
Yeah, telling the truth always. My dad always told me this is always tell the truth because then there's less to remember. And that second part means like, what did I tell you the last time if I get asked that question again? Just tell the truth. And by the way, how do you know if someone's telling you the truth?
You're uncomfortable.
It may make you feel uncomfortable. That's straight from, what's her name? I'm blanking on it. From Bold.
Diana Kokoska?
Yeah, Diana Kokoska. By the way, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you'll know when I'm telling you the truth because it may make you feel uncomfortable, but you always want me to tell you the truth, don't you? So anyway, you know, again, it's in the small moments when we, there's a ton of small moment times to build trust with people, showing up on time, being accountable to what you say you're going to do, being consistently accountable to what you're saying you're going to do. When you make mistakes, being willing to own the mistake and apologize for it. If you're on the other end of the mistake, being able to receive that apology and let it go. And let it go. Okay. So I'll be covering the other parts of the acronym on the next huddles. Leave them wanting more. Leave them wanting more. Okay. Anybody else? One last person to share an aha, and then we'll call it.
I like the fact that you...
Thank you for having me. It's been a while, and I miss you guys.
Yeah, Michael came on right off from the PM team. Woohoo! JT, you were going to say something, and then we'll leave it with JT. What did you say, JT?
I liked what you're saying. If you don't ask for help, then you're really not helping yourself too.
And then you don't trust yourself. And the only way that you can trust others is starting off. Yeah, it's starting off with trusting yourself.
I'm done.
Yeah, there's no trust with others unless you start trusting that first person, which is you. All right, I love you guys and gals. Hope you have an awesome weekend. And let's get out there and go build some trust in the small moments. Aloha. I hope you found some value in this.